guys, welcome to the latest episode of the Grappling Monthly Podcast. I'm very excited to be here with Anjanette Lima, Professor Anjanette Lima. Thank you for joining me.
Great to be here.
Yes.
Pleasure, always.
Yeah, we have this beautiful setup here in Revive Stretch Performance Therapy, I should say, which is adjacent to our home, away from home, right? Legacy Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in Burbank. I'm excited to sit here with you, get to know you a little bit, because I think, you know, I've been training here for 3 years. Pretty much as soon as I moved from Canada, found this place and was like, yeah, you know what, I'm comfortable here, and or I like it here, and I think we've like been in the same space many times, but I can count on my hand the number of times that we actually sat and like talked. You know,
correct.
So for me, I'm excited to get to know you a little bit better. And I mean, typically I would say let's maybe start with jiu-jitsu and we'll flow wherever the conversation goes.
Of course.
But yeah, I'm curious, like, how did you get started in jiu-jitsu?
So I started over 10 years ago, and I was actually in my middle 30s. So we came from a military family, and we were based in Virginia. So I was not athletic. I was like a cheerleader in high school, if you call that athleticism. And I wanted to get into a martial art. I wanted to get fit, but I also wanted to do a martial art for self-defense and to do an activity that I can do with my kids who were really young at the time. So I Googled, I said, you know what, what's a good martial art that, you know, doesn't involve striking or something that's gentle? Lo and behold, what comes up? The most gentle art.
Nice.
Which is jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And I have yet to find the gentle part in this martial art.
Yeah.
So I looked it up and I trained. My first instructor was Pat Trey, who's a Navy SEAL in Woodbridge, Virginia, at Trident Martial Arts. On the first day, we did the warm-up, so we did the forward roll, and I threw up. I barely made it across a really long mat. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not cut out for this. I have to work out. I have to condition. So I did. After that, I was like, I was so off-put by it. And then I took up Muay Thai. And then I took up MMA. He said, you can't do MMA. You can't
from not gentle to even less gentle.
Correct. Because I wanted to commit. My kids were in it. They did Muay Thai. They did Jiu-Jitsu. They're like, Mom, you know, and I wanted to keep up with my kids. So I went into MMA. Obviously, you can't do MMA without grappling. So I went back into Jiu-Jitsu, in the gi. Gi and no gi, actually. And then from then on, I've been consistent for over 10 years.
Nice.
Yeah.
And somewhere along the way, you moved to Los Angeles?
Yes. So my father suffered a medical emergency in the Philippines. I was only here for the summer. I had to pick him up in the Philippines during that summer and then bring him back home. And he couldn't live by himself. So what was to only be a summer here and then go back to Virginia ended up being here for the last 8 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Funny how that happens.
Yeah.
It's and we're closer to the Philippines here.
Yes,
right?
Yes, definitely. Exactly. And then I found this place. So I trained I was Higan Machado.
Right.
I was under Higan Machado. So I would train in Beverly Hills at the academy.
Nice.
But they didn't have a kids program. So I searched for one that was near Hollywood, which is where I was living at the time, found Legacy. I was still going to Higan, then dropping off my kids here. It didn't make sense.
No, of course not, yeah.
So I ended up training here, and I've been here for over 8 years.
Yeah, amazing.
I came here as a blue belt.
Nice. And since then, both your boys have become men.
Yes. Yes.
I see them like
exactly.
I think it's Dresden who's in.
He's in the comp class right now.
Comp class right now. Yeah.
He's preparing for a comp in 2 weeks.
Yeah, fantastic. That's that speaks to the space, right? Like, I think to a certain extent, the community of people that come here on a regular basis. You see a number of families. And for me, it's really interesting to actually see the kids grow up because, you know, otherwise it's just a person.
Yes.
You've seen this person, like even Matthew, like Superman.
He's homegrown.
Right? Exactly.
He is homegrown.
And I think even in the short period of time, I've seen him basically go from late teens to like early adulthood.
Yes,
right?
and now he's teaching.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it comes full circle.
Nice.
And that's what I love about Legacy is that it's very familial. It's a very family environment. There's no pressure to compete. You know, everybody's very welcoming. It's a very tight-knit community. So
Yeah.
that's what keeps me anchored here.
Nice. There's also like a healthy contingent of women that train
Yes.
on a regular basis, namely the women's class on Saturday, but also like throughout pretty much the whole week of classes, right? And I think you have a pretty big part to play with in that, am I right?
So we have women's class on Thursday evenings and Saturday mornings. And, you know, it's not only teaching jiu-jitsu to women, which is slightly different than, you know, teaching a co-ed class. A lot of the women obviously have kids or, you know, I tell them that, you know, our bodies are built different. So training with a female is different from training with a male. I've encountered females who have had traumatic backgrounds, but want to learn a martial art.
Yeah.
And was, you know, directed to try jiu-jitsu. And thankfully they have this, you know, the confidence to hopefully defend themselves. Heaven forbid they're under, you know, under duress.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. What is it about jiu-jitsu? Like, because you could do pretty much any martial art, and some of the benefits I think are kind of unilateral. Like, generally speaking, you gain confidence and you get a little bit of physical fitness and stuff, right? But you could do that from Taibo, or I just dated myself. Taibo.
I know Taibo.
Yeah. And jiu-jitsu, if anything, actually on the other side of that coin, like it forces you to be like really, really, really close to the other person. Right?
I was just gonna say.
So yeah, what is it about jiu-jitsu do you think that is appealing in that regard?
I get that question a lot from females. I also teach a self-defense at a tactical place, and I always get women who ask, well, why should I do jiu-jitsu? Why can't I just punch somebody?
Yes.
And I tell them, you know what? When you are taught, you know, if you're under threat and the threat comes and you guys are in close contact, you may not have the space to strike. And I tell them a lot of fights end up on the ground. The statistic changes. It could be 80%, 70%, but a lot of the fights end up on the ground. So you need to learn how to defend yourself. Not to say striking is irrelevant. Striking is great, but you need to learn how to, you know, what to do when you're in close contact with your threat. So, you know, it's beyond the striking and, you know, the joint manipulation and the chokes. It's learning to breathe, to be calm, and really, like when we do drills, I tell them we do these drills ad nauseum. If we do something, we drill it ad nauseum. We do it so many times so that heaven forbid something happens to you. For example, if you're getting choked, you know exactly what to do. Your chin is tucked. You know, you're doing 2-on-1. You're trying to bridge and escape. So this is how it helps you not only with confidence, but with your breathing. And hopefully you never get to use it. But if there's anything I can impart to you is how to defend yourself.
That's the goal, right? Like ideally you never actually have to use it. But yeah, I don't know if you remember the first time. Well, you do, of course, you do remember your forward rolls. But I mean, the first time you're in bottom mount, right? And it's like, if you don't know what to do, it's this overwhelming, like, well, I can't move. Like, I'm helpless in this case. And so I think you're right. Getting the tools getting the knowledge to have some tools in that context that, you know, gives you at least a fighting chance.
So that's one of the examples is what if you're getting mounted or side controlled? You know, again, it's always focused on your breathing, because if you have no training, your automatic reaction is to panic.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know, some people react, or you know, they end up pulling in their partner or their threat even more. Like, no, create distance, work on your breathing. You know.
Yeah.
So those are the things that we try to impart and try to teach. That, you know, again, breathing is very important. being calm, because you have that, even if you're not under a threat, let's say like you're on the streets, but if you're under duress with your training partner and you're sparring, you know, if you're not calm and you're not breathing, everything that we just taught you 5 minutes ago,
Out the window.
it's
Yeah.
out the window.
Yeah. And it's a different type of cardio too, right? Like
Yes.
I find that, I don't know if you'll agree. I think you probably will. But like if I spend, let's say, a week or two away from jiu-jitsu and I come back, physically I might feel good in terms of like the body is somewhat healed and like
Right.
I'm rested, but the cardio is shot, right?
Correct.
Like
Exactly.
it's just I have never found, apart maybe from like the assault bike, which is somewhat similar, but again, not really.
Right.
Because you're in like a good position to exert force
Right.
on the bike, right? But in jiu-jitsu, sometimes you're like twisted,
Exactly.
like your neck is all weird and stuff. So it's
Right.
really hard. Yeah.
The assault bike is not going to try and choke you or try to armbar you.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's very all encompassing. I think in jiu-jitsu, not only are you working on your cardio, but you're working on your flexibility. It is all and like, I mean, like within the course of an hour, you've done all of that. It's like it's all encompassing workout.
Yeah.
Because I thought I had to be in good shape to start jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah.
You really don't, because over time you will build up that endurance. I credit jiu-jitsu. I lost like 30 pounds
Nice.
just in training jiu-jitsu. I mean, there was some conditioning involved, you know, but a lot of it is in jiu-jitsu because you're just sweating.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What is it about, like, when you started, you know, did you see yourself continuing like until black belt and beyond?
That is a great question. One, I didn't see myself continuing it, but I was very determined because of my kids. Because my kids were continuing to do it and they enjoyed it. I wanted to continue it too. And be like, oh, look, mom is training. Oh, mom got promoted.
Yeah.
You know, mom got her blue belt. Mom got her purple belt. And I wanted them to see that they can do it too.
Nice.
Even if their mom can do it at my age, I'm a middle-aged woman. If I can do it, they can do it.
Nice.
So like, for example, my son, he's a blue belt, but he's been training as long as me.
Yeah.
So essentially it's almost like he's a kid black belt.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. With sprinkle some wrestling and some
Right?
other stuff in there. Yeah.
So I want them to continue it. That was a non-negotiable.
Nice.
That you could do any other sport, but jiu-jitsu has to stay in your arsenal.
Yeah, that's awesome. And plus, I'm assuming you got to spend a lot more time with them as a result, right?
Yeah, we
at
go to
least
the gym every day.
in the same space. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we talked about this a little bit before starting the interview. You're kind of like the mom or one of the moms right here, and I was like dancing around the topic. You're like, no, it's okay.
It's true.
I am.
It's legit. Yes,
Yeah.
I carry that proudly because I am very. I'm like the mama bear of the gym.
What
the
is-
nurse
Yeah.
at the gym.
And what is it about? Is it like a person? Is it your personality naturally, or is it
Probably.
that? Yeah.
I think so. Not only culturally, but being a mom. You know, if I see somebody hurt or draining people's ears or, you know, holding on to the tiny cranes who just stepped on the mat for the first time and they're so scared to join or to step on the mat and do the warm-ups. I don't know. It's something innate.
Yeah. I think, I mean, it fits really well in this particular community. Because you referenced tiny cranes, like those are 3, I think,
Yes.
is the earliest, right?
3 to 5.
Which is like so young.
They're sponges.
Right?
They're sponges.
I'm consistently amazed at how you guys manage to keep their focus, you know, and like
It's
in some
difficult.
cases, yeah, right?
It's difficult.
Let's touch on it actually. Like, how do you structure something for somebody that young or a group of, you know, humans that are that young?
They're little tiny humans.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard, it's challenging, but it's also rewarding. For example, I've seen kids who started off at 3 and now are at 4, like not even 4, like 6 months of progress of learning how to break fall, learning how to sprawl. It's difficult because obviously they're one of the things that are challenging are the attachment issues. You know, they always want to run to their mom, or you know, they're crying because they're scared.
Yeah.
What's great is our team, our coaching team, for the kids. You know, obviously we are aware of that, and we've experienced so many kids from, you know, all different wavelengths and spectrums, that, you know, we want to make it a welcoming environment, and we try to make it playful. And for example, like if there's a kid that is always running to their parents, we'll let them do that, but we also tell the parents, hey, you know what, let us take care of it. You're here to for us to train your child to be able to defend themselves through the bully guard system. And over time, they build a rapport. It's all about building a rapport and relationship with the child, and making them feel comfortable.
Yeah, I think that's a huge part. Yeah. You mentioned the bully guard system. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
It's basically jiu-jitsu. You know, we do from takedowns and from ground, and we want to teach kids that, yes, you know jiu-jitsu, but don't use jiu-jitsu, you know, obviously without your parent. But in the event that you are being bullied, we teach them techniques that are not really lethal. Like we always tell the kids, you don't, you know, push somebody to the ground. Always yell for help. Tell an adult, you know. But, you know, once you pass those phases, we teach them how to bridge, trap, and roll, or grip breaking, and, you know, being loud and very firm that, hey, you know, you're being a bully, you know, stop.
Nice.
So,
I love that.
yeah.
It's cool to see, because I've witnessed a number of classes, right? And then by the time they're like getting their like level 2s and level 3s and things like that,
I
like
know.
they have like this skill set, right? And
Yes.
it fits really neatly together.
And it becomes they become conditioned. It becomes very automatic for them. Like if you tell them to tackle the giant, they know how to do a double leg.
Yeah.
You know, so or shark bites. So they trap the arm and trap the foot, and then they bridge, trap, and roll. So
you're kind of tricking them to learn how at the same time as they're having fun, right? Like,
exactly. Yes. Yes.
It's like hiding some vegetables in the pasta so that like they eat.
That's right. That's right. But we're also teaching them discipline.
Yeah.
You know, so we make sure that discipline is part of the structure. We make it fun, but we also tell them, hey, you know what? When your toes on the line, you know, you be quiet. You don't speak when the coach is speaking. So I think the not only the parents appreciate it, but then the kids learn that, oh, okay, I need to sit down, crisscross applesauce, listen to the coach, all that.
I like crisscross applesauce.
I end up saying things that we say in you know, the bully guard system to adults, and they're like, oh, okay, T-Rex arms.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense.
It makes sense.
Yeah. So what's more difficult, a class full of tiny cranes or trying to teach techniques to adults?
Oh, tiny cranes, 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Teaching a child whose attention or focus, their attention span is only 3 to 5 seconds, is very difficult.
Yeah, fair enough.
Also, you know, we also have children who are autistic or special needs.
Yeah.
So it's great because our coach to student ratio is very low. So we can give those students the attention that they need so they become successful.
Right. Yeah. That's actually one of the things I noticed. Like one of the first things that I noticed when I saw the kids class, I was like, holy crap, there's a lot of coaches.
There's a lot of coaches. There's like there could be 3 black belts and, you know, 4 other coaches on the mat at any given time for tiny cranes for kids.
And some of the coaches are blue belts as well, right?
Yes.
So, you know, to me, the first time I saw that, I was like, wow, that's really early in the grand scheme of things, right? Like your whole personal journey of jiu-jitsu. But I've since like come around on that concept, because I think it's a great thing to not have to wait that long to start sharing what it is that you know. And
agreed.
Right.
Agreed. And it's really like, you know, to your point, like I was shocked, you know, I coached at blue belt, but I was like, oh, this person's a blue belt, but this person could also be a blue belt who trains twice a day and stacks their training. This is also, you know, probably a coach that we would like to, you know, hone and be like, oh, you know what? Even though you're a blue belt, you really have good teaching techniques. You have a good personality. You know, you have a good rapport with the kids.
Yeah.
So not only are we teaching or coaching kids, but as we coach, it's also good for us. So imagine if we're teaching an arm bar at a blue belt. Oh, I'm going to, you know, perform an arm bar just as I'm teaching it. So it actually, it's rewarding for both.
Yeah, absolutely. And then it comes full circle, right? When I've seen, like, for example, Dresden or Matt teaching, right? And then all of a sudden they're in a position where they have this opportunity to gain confidence in sharing their knowledge, right? Which they've accumulated and they put in the work.
Yes.
Right. So it must make you feel good when you see.
It does. It warms my heart because Dresden was a competitor. Very active competitor. We would travel all over for Dresden to compete. And now he teaches kids his moves.
Nice.
And it's nice to see kids, you know, basically rolling just like him.
Yeah.
So he has privates. He teaches the kids, like, you know, when he was competing, he was an arm bar. He was all about arm bars. So teaching kids how to arm bar like he did it warms my heart. I'm like, oh, look at you.
Yeah, yeah,
teaching.
absolutely. It's kind of a full circle moment.
It is. It is. And it's also good for Matt and Dresden, like you said, for their confidence, because I tell Dresden, I also tell Matthews, like, now you're in a position of authority. These kids are looking up to you. So every move that you make, it's being watched, not only by the student, by the parents.
Yeah.
So there's a certain level of, you know, how you carry yourself on the mat.
100%.
So I try to remind them of that.
Yeah. No, that's so important. These are life lessons, right? At the same time. Which I think is really cool, because you might not otherwise have that authority at 16 or at 17, 18, 19, right? Like
not outside of the gym.
Yeah, exactly. The mat is kind of this, like, level playing field, right? Where everybody doesn't, you could be a lawyer, you could be a doctor, everybody's kind of at the same level.
Yes.
Although then, of course, there's skill and stuff like that. But so I'm curious, like, what advice do you give to women, for example, or anybody who is, like, on the physically less powerful side of the spectrum, like less, just pure strength-wise, or somebody who's smaller, you know, who might, like, be anywhere between, I don't know,
more petite,
70 pounds to, like, you know, 130. That you'll inevitably face somebody who's stronger. And even if they're the same size, maybe they've been training longer, maybe they're an athlete, you know, what I mean? Like, and I think you touched on this a little bit, but what advice would you give somebody who might find that to be overwhelming at first? When
I first started, the audience or the demographic of the people I rolled with, one, I didn't have there was maybe one or two women.
I bet.
At my gym.
Yeah.
Back in the day. Also, because we were located in a military heavy area, we had the Marine base, we had Air Force base, Army base, Navy base. All of the guys I would roll with are big, heavy, you know, sailors, soldiers. They're big guys. And size does make a difference. Strength obviously plays a factor. But I think it's also about technique.
Yeah.
Learning the technique. For example, people ask me, well, how are you able to endure or make this, you know, like a lifestyle for you? You've been doing it for so many years. Your grappling partners are all different sizes. I'm like, yeah, I didn't stop because I pushed myself. For me, it's more of a challenge, challenging myself.
Yeah.
Because this is not a team sport. It's only you against your opponent.
Yeah.
There's nobody gonna come in here and be clutch for you.
Right.
It's all about, you know, it's just you and your partner.
Yeah, totally.
And I tell them, you know what, you just need to, regardless of your build, if you are consistent, number one, if you're consistent, you will be able to do techniques on any size. So for example, I always give an example of, I seek out training partners who are bigger than me. So for example, there's Eddie, who,
Oh my goodness.
I don't want to give out his weight, but he's a big guy. He's
Yeah.
like 6'3".
He's a handful,
big,
for sure.
Yeah, he's a big guy. He's a gentle giant, but I seek him out, again, from the self-defense standpoint that heaven forbid I encounter somebody of that build. I know what it feels like.
Yeah.
I know what it feels like. I can breathe. I can not necessarily relax, but I know what to do. You know, obviously I'm not going to, you know, there's certain things on somebody who's bigger than me, but regardless of size or build, that's what's great about jiu-jitsu is that it can accommodate, you know, even mobility issues, you know, not, you know, beyond your build. I have the bones of an 80-year-old at this point. I'm like, but you could still do jiu-jitsu. For females, you can still do jiu-jitsu regardless of how skinny or how heavy you are. There's ways to accommodate jiu-jitsu for women.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just actually interviewing Professor Tiago out in, my goodness, Orange. And his eldest student is 81 years old. So there you have it, right?
Yeah.
There's no excuse
Exactly.
anymore.
Just like Savage here.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, Savage is up there too. Right?
Yes, he is I don't want to guess his age, but yes, he's our oldest.
Yeah. So I think I guess we have from 3 to like, you know,
80.
Basically.
Ish.
Yeah.
Yes. And my goal is to, you know, hopefully still train or, you know, at the very least teach at that age. We'll see.
You mentioned, you will, I'm sure. You mentioned something, you mentioned the word lifestyle. And I wanted to like, get your take on what is the jiu-jitsu lifestyle?
It's different for everybody. For example, I work. I'm a nurse by day. I work remotely, but I'm a nurse by day and I teach at night and I also train whenever I can. So I'm literally at the gym 7 days a week. 7 days a week. My lifestyle is not only being a mom, so I'm like the Uber driver to my kids. You know, when I clock out from my day job, I pick up my kids, you know, prepare dinner, come to the gym, train, teach, you know, go back home. Okay, you know, do the domestic stuff. But our life is revolved around jiu-jitsu because we're here so much.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Would you say that it like impacts your choices in terms of like, for example, whether or not you're going to go like for the steak or the salad or like, or whether you're going to have a drink or not? Like, does it have an impact?
It
on,
does.
Like, yeah.
It does. I try to eat healthy because I know that if I have, for example, if I go out the evening before master's training, like if I drink, I'm like, you know, I'm gonna be slower than usual. I'm not gonna be as swift as I can, or I don't want to eat a carb-heavy diet or meal right before training. That would just weigh me down.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything is, I'm mindful of my training. I guess it does revolve around training.
Yeah, fair enough. I actually have a policy that is centered around like if I do happen to go out the night before, or if I have anything more than 2 drinks early in the day, like
correct.
You know, like if it's anywhere near bedtime, I won't train the next day.
Right.
But I never really want to miss a day of training, so I end up missing the night of drinking instead, and it just kind of like snowballs into like, you know.
But do you see how you favor jiu-jitsu, the training?
Yeah.
Regardless, let's say it could be anything, but you favor training over indulgence.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you know what the payoff is going to be.
100%.
Or what the downfall is going to be.
Yeah. It's a constant battle for me. Like
it is.
But I think it's probably the case for everybody.
But even aside from food, let's, you know, talking about jiu-jitsu. For example, I was a very hot-headed, very reactive.
Really?
Yeah, right. Very reactive person prior to training. And I feel that because I have jiu-jitsu in mind, I typically don't, like, I typically don't, knowing full well that I'm like, okay, if somebody pisses me off, I'm like, I'm not going to engage. Nope, today is not the day. I am not going to engage. I don't want to go to jail today, but I know it brings me restraint.
Yeah.
It gives me restraint. So talking about lifestyle, yes, I can restrain myself from eating sweets because I know I'm not going to feel good before training. In fact, I try to fast before training.
Yeah.
But outside of that, you know, making good decisions and good choices because, okay, I know that either my training is going to be involved or will be impacted.
100%. 100%. Yeah. It's interesting. We often hear the word discipline thrown around, and you just use the word restraint. And I feel like it fits hand in hand, right? Like, because it does take discipline to have restraint, right? But as you say, like the payoff is, if you enjoy jiu-jitsu, the payoff is totally worth it, right? Because your training the next day is better, you feel better, you know, devour the meal after training, and that feels good. Right?
At Acai, plugging that in. At Acai.
Jungle Cafe, yeah, which is right next door. Let's move on to the lightning round. Short questions. Yeah, exactly. We're going to put you on the hot seat.
Yes.
Yeah. No, it's for fun. Gi or no gi? Which is your favorite?
Gi.
Gi? Yeah, that was
a strong gi. Yes.
Okay. Let's say, what's your favorite legal competition technique? How about that?
Legal technique. I would have to say Ezekiel.
Okay. All right. Cool. Very gi technique.
Very gi technique. Yes.
All right. And now if we're outside of the context of the competition, and it's a real world scenario.
Yes.
What's the illegal or illegal? What's the go-to technique?
Heel hook.
Okay.
Heel hook.
Nasty. Do not mess with Professor Anjanette. Yeah. It's funny. I really enjoy heel hooks. I think they're, you know, a great technique and require a lot of skill. It's just,
yes.
You know, the stigma around it.
It is.
You know. Okay. Favorite meal at Acai Jungle Cafe?
It is the rocket toast.
Okay. Nice. I'm going to put it on the screen, put it on the menu. Let's see. What are my other questions? My goodness. I'm putting myself on the hot seat here. Favorite jiu-jitsu fighter of all time, male or female?
Oh, I would say Mendez brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guy and Hafa.
Yeah. Nice. I'd never heard of them. Yeah.
You're right.
I don't know
like,
who they are.
Who knows about AOJ?
Yeah.
What's that?
And let's see. Closing question. Something that we maybe don't know about you. Jiu-jitsu or not jiu-jitsu?
I like guns and racing cars.
Okay. So a big general, do not mess with Professor Anjanette because jiu-jitsu, guns, and cars. Amazing. You guys, it's an absolute pleasure, I got to say.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor.
Thank you for taking the time. Yeah, because I know you have a busy schedule. But if you want to get to know Professor Anjanette, want to take classes, and want to know why she's such a badass, come on down to Legacy Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, 330 Victory Boulevard North in Burbank. And yeah, there's kids classes, there's adult classes, I think there's drills as well. There's classes like every day of the week, almost every time. So, and the Masters open mat Sundays at
37 and over.
Is it 37 now?
Yes, it changes. Exactly. It changes. It was 35, 36 and a half. Now it's at 37. We're at a hard 37.
Oh,
that's a hard line.
We'll check your ID before you come in.
We have.
Yeah?
We have.
Nice.
Yes.
Amazing. Professor, thank you so much.
It was an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.